Well, hello there, everyone. Talk about right here is for Toys R Us, and how many of us, wanted to wear that. I don't want to grow up, and I want to be a Toys R Us kid, and yeah, that we all will likely remember a lot of those comments, back when we were growing up. But we also wonder too that why is it that Toys R Us, had a is going out of business. I'm like, how come that they're going out of business? And I guess if you want to call it, is this toward that maybe because that yeah, that maybe changes that's going on. Maybe if it's gonna be what you call, yeah, that it could also be in case of any of the kids ever wanted to where that you're gonna have like maybe like an animal, maybe the giraffe or maybe the zebra or the lion that's gonna be speaking to the kids about to where they yeah that and I can tell anybody here that I haven't been shopping at Toys R Us for quite a long time, but I can tell you one thing though, that whenever I was able to take the time to be able to get an account through Toys R Us website, I'm like, it felt like that maybe I had more control. I'm like, yeah, by the time you figure it out about, okay, if you have anybody that wants any toys, I'm like, Toys R Us has been in business since I was growing up, and wonder to where that why is it that maybe to where that why is it that they're going out of business, and what are the kids going to be looking at now as to where if especially around the holidays that yeah, I don't want to grow up and I want to be a Toys R Us kid if it's going to be video games and stuffed animals and yeah. So, and I can tell anybody here that especially on the weekends, about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, that every once in a while that you would see their commercials coming on, and they would be like what you call early morning hours. That yeah, especially on Black Friday, that they would open early, and kids would go in there and do their shopping, and with their parents, and then they would find anything that they were wanting to shop for. And so it's like, yeah, that Toys R Us though has been around for a very long time, and that's just a thing though that whenever I think about that is that I keep thinking too that they are what you call one of the most known toy stores that had what you call the top prices. I'm like, yeah, you go shopping there, and a lot of the things that they would have there that maybe you can't find, at very many other places, any other companies, but yeah, that but all I also keep thinking too is to where that this is going to be also another toy store that's known for like maybe for video games. I'm like, yeah, if you're going to be going in there maybe for puzzles and video games or the best-selling toys or something like that. So yeah, that you go in there, and then you're able to find a variety of toys, but still, though, that I guess if you want to call this to where they have right here is this giraffe right here, and let's just say that yeah, that back when I was a kid, it's like if they would have had something like maybe the mobile app to where they have like maybe the character such as the giraffe would ask you, what would you like to add to the wish list next, and then something like, hey, welcome to Toys R Us, your Toys R Us website. And so yeah, that whenever you're going to be figuring out, just like working a puzzle to where by the time you figure it out to where that you're able to sign up to be able to get an account, and then it's like yeah that you were also thinking too as to where that, some shopping that you would want to get somebody special, or that maybe you would want to just do some shopping just because something that you used to have back whenever you were younger. I'm like, back whenever you were young, that they made, there was a company that made the similar toys, but I guess yeah, that there's going to be reasons to why companies that they're going to be yeah, companies that go out of business, but really, what do you want to tell the customer shoppers that at whenever the stores, how can you really do your shopping around the holidays whenever the stores are going to be closed? And I guess that's going to be the next question, is to where at a lot of the malls or other places like that, whenever they close, maybe around the spring, but then how are those customers going to be able to do their shopping for their children, around the holidays? Like I say, around Christmas time, and especially during the special holidays, that where are they going to go necessarily to where are they going to shop at, whenever that they're looking for any particular item. And I guess if you want to call us as toward it, online sites too. But I guess and I know most of us can maybe say too, is that, that, going out of business seems like it's always the bad news. I'm like, that, going out of business, what does that basically mean? That basically means is to where that, that there's going to be a lot of jobs that, going to be, if you want to call it jobs lost, or, it's going to be what's called the company is losing money. It could also mean is toward that there's going to be changes. They got a new store owner. It could maybe be that somebody bought out the company and they're going to be giving it a new name. But still, though, that you're also wondering too, that is toward it going out of business. Going out of business. That this is going out of business basically mean is toward everything's shutting down, or there's going to be changes. And I can tell anybody here that I keep thinking it's just changes. I'm like, you just had the time if you really believe that, that all the companies like retails or whichever that, or the retail stores that, that they're shutting down or whichever, but still, what are you going to tell the customers around the holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas? You cannot shut down everything, and I guess the case of the matter would be is to where that, I have right there is like a little animated sticker, if you would call it like, this giraffe right here, and so let's just say that, in case that there's going to be little kids that's going to maybe be watching the commercials, and sometimes though that in case of anybody that may want to where that you see those commercials coming on between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe like on a Saturday night or sometime like that, and talking about the special buys that they got there at the company. But so I remember Toys R Us has been around since I was a kid, and I can say too is to where that I used to always think too that a lot of their toys and a lot of the things there, they were quite expensive. Like you would pretty much need to have what you call maybe a wish list or something like that, just to be able to afford a lot of things on the shelves. But I tell you one thing though, that we may have all grown up, but we can also think about our grandkids, and maybe we can talk about our friends' kids, that they're going to have kids, and then they're going to want to play with the similar toys and want to know about where they're going to go just to be able to do their shopping. But I also keep thinking too that there's just going to be a few changes that's going to be going on. But still though that reasons to why maybe that you're going out of business though, that it's like file for bankruptcy, or if it's about is to where that it's something that is related to about websites. I guess if you want to call us as to where that how many children are going to probably say are going to maybe be in and out of that toy store and want to know about, they go into that toy store, especially around at the holidays, and they're going to probably say that it's that, during the holidays, they usually see the Toys R Us catalogs in the mail, and then now it's like, where they're going to look at now, whenever the holidays come around. But I guess a lot of everything is just kind of still unknown, because I guess they're going to maybe have it to where that there's going to be what you call toys, there's going to maybe be a new store that's going to maybe open up, and it's going to be called Toys a Team USA or something like that. Toys a Team. So in case of anybody that may want to, or Toys a Team, like Toys Mall or something like that. But still though, that the last time I was shopping at Toys R Us, and I can't really tell anybody, but it's been a couple of years since I've been shopping at Toys R Us. But still that whenever that if anything, maybe around the holidays. But still that the last time I was in there, if I can remember right, I was in there to get batteries. Yeah, there was a Babies R Us. I'm like, they had like, Kids R Us. So yeah, that store that had a variety of different clothes and baby stuff, baby clothes and stuff like that. So it's like, I was also thinking too that, Babes, I guess if it's known for the same company, it's the same company, but they look like two different stores. So let's just say that, this right here looks all like an all-in-one store, but, this right here will be Toys R Us, but let's just say if like, Kids R Us, Kids R Us was about right in here. I didn't draw entrance doors on all this right here, but still that you have your Kids R Us, and then maybe if you're going to have another maybe like a food court in there, so and playground. I'm like, yeah, that you're likely one too. That Toys R Us, that whenever they at the time that places that you grew up at, that they've been around for at least 50 years. I would probably say that at least 50 years, in case if anybody that may ask me as to where that, you cannot remember. I'm like, yeah, that, the companies that have been around for at least 50 years. And, just think as to where that's always the bad news as to where that you're hearing that, that they're going out of business. But I can tell you one thing, though, that, whenever I got my first account at the Toys R Us website, I felt like I had more ability to where I can do my shopping. And how many of us maybe weren't to where that, if you, do you feel that you have more ability to do your shopping whenever you sign up to be able to get an account? Because back whenever I was young, either the times to where that I could not afford it, or if it was the times to where that, something about, I didn't know really exactly about how it works, or I did not have access to, to a computer during a time, or, something like that. But, you were not at the age, I know that, about how old do we, most of us really need to be, just to be able to get an account online, just to be able to do our shopping. And, yeah, I'm like, in case of anybody that may want to word it, if you're going into that toy store just to buy batteries or maybe a stuffed animal, or maybe something like maybe a candy bar. I know I mentioned candy bar before, but maybe something else that kids are going to be going in and out of that store for, and they just want to grab something. They can only spend about maybe 5 minutes in the store, something like that, and they're going to maybe just grab something on the shelves and only spend about maybe 5-10 minutes in the store. But I tell you one thing though, that times that going into the store, and I see the commercials quite a few times, and you're likely to say that I've probably seen those commercials and catalogs for Toys R Us stores more than how many times I've been in the store. And I can say that that they going into that store, and then that you're also thinking too as to where that you wouldn't think there was anything problems related, such as bankruptcy problems, or if it was about the short employment, or maybe about something that was going on there at the store. But anyway, I guess you say get to the point to where as to where that a lot of online shopping online too, and I could say too as to where that shopping online really does that really replace the store's location, or if anything that there's other sites that are being promoted, but to where that you can actually a lot of the inventory, and then a lot of the merchandise that's coming in and out of that store also, just like Kmart, in case of anybody that may want to where that you may know of a few stores maybe kind of like Kmart, maybe Office Max, or like other stores that that you're within about maybe 20 miles, and one of them that goes out of business and one of them still open, and you're also thinking too is that they're owned by, if they have just separate owners, that they're owned by separate owners. But anyway, you have right there, I've talked about for Toys R Us though. But what is the reason to why? Why did they have to go out of business? And in case of anybody that may want to word it, we all remember that song. It was like, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. And yeah, that I and how many of us how many of us have bought any diapers from Toys R Us? I remember that commercial too, is toward it. I'm a big kid. Look what I can do. Yeah, you like what you say is toward that by the time you learned how to use by the time you learned to get away from diapers and it's like say knowing about the top toy stores that you went to a lot of times, with your family and friends, and you'll likely say is toward it, that it was a good place, but just want to know, like, if there's just changes that's going on, or if it's a fact about, as to where that company's running the problems, running the trouble, but anyway, but talk about safe for Toys R Us though, and so thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.